Hey everyone, it's Desiree and I am here with Spellbinders, yes, once again. And this video we are going to create a card featuring the amazing paper Grace kit of the month, and it is for April. This is actually called the Dahlia Dimensional Doily. So very odd looking shapes. I have to be honest, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, I only recognize this. I'm just saying, you know, all of these kind of threw me off. But what is really cool, so let me open this up so I don't have a glare. So what's really cool is for this die and this die, you get a small and a larger rose. Now this would have been larger if I didn't have it so tight. Yeah, you know, let it loose, and then that makes roses. These two here, you need one of each, but when you put these together, you create that image. I don't know if you can see that, how these pieces are intertwining, and again, you can fold them. And so if I take this out, that's the piece that you're getting from these, because you would use this one and the outer circle die. So again, what you're doing is you're placing this down so that they cross. See how that's cut up onto the top, and then this one is as well, but when they meet, you're able to cross that over. So you can see how you get that image. And then for this, you just got to do a lot of feeding the paper. Remember, we can bend it, we can move it, we can be the master paper manipulators. And there you go, we've done that. So we get this really interesting image. You know, think about ink smushing paper, and then this would be that lighter color, whatever color you use, and that would be what would be coming up. So really cool. And again, that's, you need both of these and then this outer die here. Then you have this setup here. Now of course this is a leaf, this can be, you know, a petal as well. This is a panel, but then you've got this system here. So this is actually going to cut an image that you fold in and then out on the side, and then again in and out on the side. So you can get this individual look, or you can create a fan, which would be absolutely beautiful. Okay, so that's what we're going to get from that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get most of my die cutting done, like I always like to do. Get that done, get that out of the way. And then I'm going to do a little bit of ink, not ink smushing, but just some ink dyeing with some finger daubers, and I'll be showing you that, why I'm doing that. And then we're just going to keep going around. Now, as always, your card that comes with the kit. Now, again, this comes for me. I'm part of the inspiration team, so I'm just emailed this. I'm not emailed a kit like you would receive. And then, of course, this is the inspiration that you're going to get. So they tell you how to create that 4-piece doily that I had shown you before. And then here are the, what do you call it? The small roses and the large roses. And how you can use that. And what's great is the tool-in-one actually comes with an attachment that you can put paper inside. So that's kind of cool. And then there's that fan that can very much be created. So again, this is just inspiration, and I'll be right back so we can get started. Okay, so I am back. Let's do the inking first. So I'm going to do the leaves first, and I'm going to use my peeled paint. I'm using my Distress inks, and I'm just going to go around the edges of each of the leaves that I have cut. I just want to give them a bit of shading, of course. And I just want that to go around the edges and the tip. I'm not worried about going all the way around because I'll tuck them up underneath, you know, the flowers, so they'll be hidden. And again, remember, doesn't have to be perfect. Enjoy. For me, that's the main thing. You gotta enjoy the process. Paper is a wonderful thing with what we can do with it. All of the different effects that we can create with it. That's what makes it fun. All right, so I have my leaves, and then as I was doing that, I was able to bend them to give them some fun, some shape. All right, so now what I'm going to do, this is where it gets, you got to kind of like intertwine this. So this is the mechanism that you're going to use to make your roses. But I want to add some colors. I want to add some antique linen and some tattered rose. So I'm going to come in first with the tattered rose so that I can see what that looks like. But again, you got to hold it, you know, along this edge, and you're kind of starting from the outside, and then you're going to work on your inside. So yeah, this is, you know, now we just need to get creative. Do not worry if the paper starts, you know, curling up. That's just going to make the rose more fun to look at. I'm not looking also to get a good mark on those, because now that I have that color, now I'm going to come in with a little bit of the antique linen just to mix in. And again, that's just going to give, you know, a difference in the color. Matter of fact, I think on this, I'm just going to go over that. So that's what these are going to look like. So why don't I do this first? Get this color. Again, I'm not even looking for it to be perfect. I want it to be blotted. I want it to be muted like that. So we're just gonna, but you just want to make sure that you are holding on, you know, to your pieces, because this is die cut through, you know, so that we can have that shape. Okay, and then our last one. Should have put down my glass mat. That's all right. We can have some fun. All right, and now I'll come in on the edge with the tattered rose. Just two soft colors just to give you a different look for a flower. Because I did choose like burgundy and browns for the back. All right, so I'm just gonna keep on doing these, and when I come back, I'm gonna show you how I make these and how we're gonna start putting our pieces together. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my last two. I've got some of the roses done there. I used the circle die to cut a piece of vellum. I'm going to use some of these scallops for a border. This is the start of the Dahlia fan. So that one's pretty much done. All right, and I am going to be going over that with some, you all know, vintage photo, yes. I have one of the panels. Now this one has been glued together. There's 3 levels that are glued together, and then here are the next 3 that I'm going to glue together. And then I have my standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have this piece, and it'll all make sense at some point. So let's just go with that, right? Right. So hopefully this will work. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. But let me work on these first. Okay, just checking a couple things to make sure I'm in frame. Okay, I'm a little crooked. Okay, I'm going to move you guys. Make it dizzy for y'all. All right. So, as I said, the tool-in-one for Spellbinders is awesome because there are more attachments for the ends. I use the brush end to clean out my dies, especially these. Rolling this around, the pieces just pop out. It's great. They have two pokey tools now. One is angled like this. This is the one I really like. And then they actually have a straight one. This doesn't look straight, but it's actually straight. So this is a pokey tool like that as well. They also have this small brayer. Love the small brayer. It is awesome. I use this a lot for my journals to smooth out the glue. And then they also have an attachment for these to when you curl the paper. They have different sizes of those. And then they also have this one. So there are pieces of paper that can slide through this. It's like as I'm off screen, off this way, it's like a paper roller, a paper bead roller. All right. So I'm going to do the small one first. So I want all of the color facing me. At least now this is how I do it. Somebody else may show it differently. You're going to slide your paper into the slot. And again, this is available for this. Do you need to have this tool? You do not. All you're going to do is you're going to roll. Now, I'm going to turn my tool so that this curved piece actually goes straight where it needs to go. Now, that means the paper is going to bend sometimes. It's going to stick out, and that's okay. All right. That is completely okay because you can either keep this tight, you can make it loose, however you want it to look. I'm going to pull that out, and now I'm just going to finish up the last roll. Again, I'm following that line of the paper. I'm going to grab my glue. I'm going to put a huge glob at that large base there, and I'm going to keep turning until I land on top of that. Now I'm going to let that loose a little bit, let the paper relax, and now I'm just going to pinch that down. And I'm going to do that down on my table. So just so that all of those pieces, the ends are sitting in the glue. So now I've got the three small, and I've just got to tighten this up just a little bit again and get that glue on there. All right, so I'm just going to hold that and make sure that's okay. All right, so now we're going to do the large one. We are just going to do the large one the same way that we did the small one. It's just a different size. Again, you don't have to worry about being too tight with it like you do a paper bead if you've seen me do those before, but you just want to make sure that you are turning the piece of paper to make sure that it's going on whatever it is you're rolling, whether it's a toothpick, a needle, you know, whatever it is you're using, that it's going on there straight. And then eventually you're just going to take that off and then just hand roll it along the edge of that opening. And when you get to where that's done being die cut, I like to let it loose so that it can expand. I'm going to add some glue, big glob of glue down there. And then I'm just going to turn this to the side again. And then I'm going to cup that bottom in. And then make sure these pieces get down there. So I just want to make sure that that shifts, because that's your base. This is your base, that bottom piece. Now again, there's probably many ways to do this. Maybe there's another way. You know, again, this is just how I choose to do them. Remember, there's always more than one way to do something, which I think is a lot of fun. And you can see the colors by having the antique linen and the tattered rose, you get this soft pink shade, but you still see some of the antique color. So it's really quite pretty. I am going to real quick glue my panels together. Now remember, I already have 3 of them that are together. I'm just going to put the last 3 there. And again, I'm not particular with the glue. I just need to make sure that I have the majority of the spaces have a spot of glue. Now I'm going to put this down, and I'm just going to make sure they are lined up. Cleaning off some of the glue clumps that I've got going on there, because of course I've got a lot of those going on, but that's okay. I am a complete liquid adhesive fan. I think I get the best results with it. But again, it's personal preference. But I do like, for me, liquid adhesive is going to hold more items together. And plus, you know what? It's definitely me, operator. I cannot operate a tape runner for the life of me. Oy. It always breaks. And it just has fun with me. All right, I'm going to set this one down and make sure this one is even as well. All right, and then I'm going to set these 2 aside, because these 2 are going to sit like this. So they create this beautiful panel for the center, but it's great because you have choices. You could use just this side for a mini slimline. This measures 2 1/8 by 5 1/2, so it fills up the front of a panel. So I'm going to set those aside as well. So I'm going to work on this. Now these that I have done, I've just used some tape, double-sided tape, just to hold them together. So now I'm going to take my other 4, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I just really whipped through that. So I'm going to show you this one up close. And I do apologize for my fingers. They are chapped, they are cracking. And again, it's still because of all of the hand sanitizer that I use, the number of times I wash. I mean, they are just dry. There is not enough lotion in this world. Okay, so this is what our piece looks like. All right, so you can see these dotted lines here, and we're just going to fold. So the center one, we're going to fold in, and then the one on the outer, we're going to fold out. So it creates this fan. We're going to fold in, and then we're going to fold out. And that's what creates that shape. So now I'm going to do it to the last 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use tape to connect these 4 items together. And I'm going to do it upside down. I'm just going to grab a small piece. I'm going to layer them. Now what I want to do, yes, and I'm just going to put that across. It just holds them in place until I decide exactly what I'm going to do. All right, same thing. I'm just matching up the ends and the points. All right. And of course, I always, once in a while, I forget to grab a piece of tape. Now, of course, you don't need to use double-sided tape. I mean, by all means, you know, I wouldn't. Now I'm going to put that there. Okay, so now we have our 2 fans. And again, we're going, as we continue around, this is exactly what they will look like. You know, if we take these two pieces and snap them together, that is what you're going to have. Huh. Why is that? But yet it'll do that. No? Oh, I'm just having some fun now, right? Yeah. It's okay. You'll see that. And you can see that beautiful system, that star that comes in. Okay. So I'm going to set those aside. Okay. So this piece here measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at like 2 1/16 and 2 1/16. Okay, so not 2 1/8. I went under the 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and you'll see that reason. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm really going to push these down with my paper creaser. Okay, so I'm going to take each of these panels and I'm going to adhere them on each of the sides. And again, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. So I've created my own chipboard because I did layer this 3 times. Okay. So again, I'm going to work on this corner and I'm just going to line that up and make sure it is lined up. Now you can see this is going over this edge just a little bit, and that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'll clean off that glue. But I also want to make sure that it doesn't stick. All right, and now I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Again, a little bit of glue. And again, just little dots are key and will do absolute wonders for you. And again, I'm going to take this, forgot one panel, or one edge, and we're going to place this down again, just matching up, making sure I'm going around and making sure that I have that closure going on and that it's even. All right, so we have this so far. All right, so it'll be a great, you know, card with a belly band. So now I'm going to take my A2 size and I'm going to take this and I'm going to slide this underneath it. And I'm going to place glue on the inside here. I'm going to close this. I'm going to push that in, and I'm going to push that in. Just to make sure we've got a good, nice contact. Now again, not claiming that this is my design in any way, shape, or form. I think Jennifer McGuire did something like this, because when you open it, you'll have a spot inside where you can write a special message, but yet this will also lift up. So you have a message that you can write in there as well. But we are not done yet. So now what we want to do is we want to put these up front. So I am going to line this edge right along that edge. And you can see these are going to overhang, and we want them to do that. So now what I need to do is make sure these are extremely tight, which I don't think they are. See, like I got to pull that one in. So I'm just using small bits of this tape because honestly I also cannot find my Scotch tape, so that's why I'm using this. Again, everything is just all over the place. All right, and I'm going to look at this side as well. So yeah, I need to pull that in. I just want to make sure that they are as next to each other as they should be. I don't want too many gaps. I'm taking a chance here with this gate opening here, that they're going to be straight, you know, because as I'm seeing here, you know, if I do this, I can't, but that's okay. I mean, I'm kind of looking for that, but we should have something that looks like that. Okay, so let's get our side panels in. So here I am going to take advantage that I've got double-sided tape on these pieces, but I am still going to use my liquid adhesive as well. And of course there's always one piece that wants to give me a hard time. And I'm going to make sure that I've got liquid adhesive right along this edge and then filling in. Yeah, okay. There we go. All right. Floppy little things. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it right on the edge of the panel. And I want to make sure that I'm even on the top and the bottom. And now I'm going to do the same thing. So now you can see why I was okay that we have that little gap, because these do overhang, and I do want them to still overhang from each other. Again, it's just something different. It's something unique. It's not like they're going to latch. I mean, although they probably can. All right, so again, we're going to do the glue going across and then just filling in from the tape. All right, and now we're going to fight with this one. And I'm going to match it up again on the edge, but I'm going to match it up too with the other side. And I'm going to push down. Now, if we do, the bottom one comes up and this one comes over it as well, that should act like a locking mechanism, and of course it's not, but that's okay. So if we take it, okay, so that's why I have that gap. And now we've got this beautiful Dahlia that's just sitting on there. All right, and you can play with these things on how you want them to sit and create your own design when it comes to that. Now, we have our circle. All right, so we could have this. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut this down. I don't want it as large. And I actually want it to be a piece of cardstock. So I'm going to trim this And again, this does not have to be perfect because this is going to be extremely well hidden. Oh, but I need it bigger than that. Let's try this again. There we go. And I also want a piece of cardstock to match that. And I do want the green. This just needs to have a little bit more substance to it because this is going to sit across this. All right. So now I'm just going to set that aside real quick. So you can actually take these if you want. And you can have them set in there. See, you can have all kinds of fun. And you know what? I'm kind of liking that. Because you can't really see it. But we'll see. I have another plan for those. All right. So now let's decorate. Now I'm going to use some... No, I don't want to use... I'm going to use my glue dots. Because to me, that's what holds the best. All right. So when this goes down, just like that, this is actually going to sit just like this. All right. Gonna open that up. Gonna put glue on this. And I'm gonna get that halfway on there because this is going to take a while to hold. All right. So I'm gonna set that on an angle. And now we're gonna have fun decorating. These should be nice and dry with the glue. So we should be all set with these. So this, I'm going to set that one there. And I am going to set you can see how that just shifted. Because again, it's liquid adhesive, and this is not like, you know, art glitter glue. This is going to take a little bit to hold. So now when that closes, that's what you're looking at. All right, but we're not done decorating yet. So let's get another one. And plus, I love glue dots. Oh, yes. And then we have our leaves as well that we've got to get on there. Whoop. These things are just picking this all up. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's try another one. There we go. All right. So I've got this little itty bitty one. Now, if I close this again, and that's what I want to do. I want to look at this when it's closed because I think I'm going to put that one there. I want to put one up there, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to push that one in there. So we've got that. And now we're going to have fun with our leaves. And we're just going to push them into where we have to get those. Because if you guys have seen my videos before, you know I just like to, you know, just get them in there. And it works. You guys may not think so, but it does. It truly does work. I'm going to put this one down here with this rose. So it's almost trailing down the one side. And I'm going to take that and we'll put that there. And by me pushing it in, it's also curling these leaves up as well. And I'm going to do the same thing on that one. Now I'm going to press down, make sure it doesn't stick. See, there's glue. Give me that glue. Okay, and now we have that. And I don't think, well, you know what? I'm going to put one more. Because I do like this whole trailing concept. So I'm going to put that one in right there. All right, so now we have that. And now I still don't know what I'm going to do with these. I now know what I'm going to do with these. And yes, you're all sitting there saying, but you said you were going to put vintage photo on these. Yeah, I changed my mind. So this is just adding another element. It's not staying, it's actually being glued to the top part of the Dahlia image. So it's adding even more texture when it comes to this piece. And that's what's great about it. And you're all probably sitting there saying, how are you going to close this? Oh, that's easy. All right, same thing. I'm going to put this in here. And then I'm going to push down. There we go. Get my pokey tool in there so that it can lift up. Pokey tool in there so it can lift up. There we go. And then our last one. So again, it just adds another element to this so we can have fun with it. All right. Now, let me push this stuff out of the way. And you should see, yeah, it's just flying now. Oh, come on, this is fun, right? Right. All right, so that is the beginner card. Got some nice weight to it. All right, now I'll be right back, and I will show you how we're going to close this card, what that looks like, and how it can look like if you don't even want to put that message in there. You can leave it just like this and keep it closed. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my infamous twine and jute. I love this stuff. This is my go-to. It's just what I'm always going to reach for. Now I need a needle with a big eye, but you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to thread these just like this. That jute is going to give me a problem. See if I can just take my needle and push down on it a little bit. The twine is not going to give me a problem. The jute is, yeah, I'm going to need a bigger needle here on this one. Of course. Let's see if I have one. Oh, I believe that will work. Let's trim. I always cut my threads on an angle. It's just something I've always done. They say it helps with threading, but as you can see, it does not. It absolutely does not. All right, now I've got to get this threaded here. Let's see. Maybe this one. Oh, I think I've got it. I think I've got it. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? I probably should have done this off camera. And if I don't get it this time, there we go. I was about to say, I will do this off camera. And I will show you what I did. Okay, so now I'm going to push this down. This, now it's what's happening is it's twisting up, and that's okay. They have to kind of stay even on the needle so that this will work. But I've got to get to the center, and that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, probably another 6 inches. There we go. Let's see what that does. That's perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this side up, and hopefully this is going to be long enough. But I am going to keep my needle straight, and I'm going to come straight across. See how my needle's coming in right between those pieces that are glued down? And I'm going to pull. Okay. And I don't need that much, so I'm going to keep the needle on that. I'm going to bring this around. And I do want to have what the halfway point is, because for those of you that have seen my previous videos, you know I love tassels, I love fringe, I just think it's awesome. I'm going to make sure that all of these threads are down in that area. And I'm going to tie a bow. And that's all you have to do is just tie a bow. I'm sure you all will be able to tie a bow better than I, because I cannot. I'm going to pull that tight. And then I'm going to come in with my scissors and just cut the needle out. And then we'll just trim. And there you have it. A beautiful, elegant card that has choices. We always have to have choices, right? Why not? So here you could either do the gate fold that I had shown before, all right, or you can keep this closed. Or you would actually have to open this. So you're going to be able to do this both ways. Now let's say though that you don't. You want to keep this closed up front, because right now the entire card is closed. So you would have to untie this. Just lift it up. Put your strings over there. Close it back up. And then again, just tie your bow. Now I should have, wait a minute. I'm going to tie it upside down, because if I tie a bow upside down, it sits the way that I want it to sit, which I think is really funny. Oh, okay, this one didn't. All right, not a big deal. Pull that up. You can fringe those. I lost a thingy there. Where did my glue dot go? I lost a glue dot. How did I lose a glue dot? Okay, that's funny. All right, so then what that means is we are going to inundate this with glue dots. Oh, yes. They think they win, but they don't. And now we can just push that right down there. There we go. So you go. And now, boop. So you still have that. But everything is sitting on here, and it is a gate. You could put something in there. You could put like a stemmed flower through that it'll hold it. So again, there's all kinds of different things that you can do with this card. So I do hope you enjoyed this. A very different project, but wow, so many different ways to use these dies. Creating your roses, creating the whole dahlia, adding your scalloped around the outside, having these borders here. Just so many changes, and you always do have that in the Amazing Paper Grace die kit of the month. Again, this one is for April, and it is called the Dahlia Dimensional Doily. So again, it kind of says it all. So many different ways to create this. So I do hope you enjoyed this, though. Hope I gave you some ideas. Get yourself thinking outside the box on how you can stretch your dies and create many other items. As always, the products will be listed down below that I use, which of course are all the club kits. So make sure you check them out. They keep adding to what is available on subscription. We'll also have a link to their blog for many more pieces and pictures for inspiration, and also to their shop. They're always having some great sales. So make sure you check that out. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy your day. Make sure you smile, and make sure you laugh just a little bit. But always remember what's most important for me. Always, just a little bit, little bit. Be creative, everyone. Take care. Till next time.